What's up, guys? What a way to start the Q&A, huh? Come on. How do I feel about the Pokemon games? I'm not really a fan. Welcome to Eric Landon RPG Live. We always detect when somebody's new around here. Because by now, every single human being on the planet that watches this channel should know that I don't like Pokemon. But that I also respect it, and I also don't have anything against it. It's just not for me. So for someone who doesn't know that, to show up and ask that question means you're new, so welcome. You always knew I was into some weird shit? Yeah. Of course you always knew. Can you barefoot ski on lava? Of course. Who the hell can't? You can't? I can do it no problem. Any day, anytime. Always. Barefoot ski on lava? Have better one for you. I cannot only barefoot ski on lava. I can also do it completely naked. You know? And even go inside the lava. Fuck, I don't need those fucking things you used to skiing. You know, I can just walk on lava. Go inside, in and out, and nothing's gonna happen to me. So I'm the man. But have you ever played Suicuden? Have I ever played Suicuden? No, I mean I can go in and out of lava and ski on it, but I don't think I've ever played Suicuden. I don't know what that is. Explain it to me. What is that? Never heard of that. Suicuden. Out of context, Eric Landon. That's right. I mean, you saw the picture, didn't you? I'm always out of context. 70% of my Q&As are basically out of context. With like a 5 or 10% sometimes of unhinged out of context content. Out of context content. Context content. Explain the images a few seconds ago? Sure! That is from a game that most of you don't give a shit about, even though it's an extremely super popular game. I have no clue how to make my audience give a fuck about Yakuza or Fire Emblem or even Shin Megami Tensei. I have no clue. I've tried for like over 10 years. Well, Yakuza I've only tried for 5 years, maybe 4. 4 years. Let's leave it at 4 years. Maybe less, okay? 3 years. But yeah, there are some JRPG franchises that, or video game franchises that, hard as I try, I can't make my audience give a damn about it. The rest of the world gives a fuck about it, but not you. I don't understand why. I tried my best, but I give up. What JRPG games do you always play this month? None. I have no time to replay video games anymore, sadly. You were estranged from the fact that there are almost 0 Sonic RPGs? Well, you got a couple. You got the infamous Dark Brotherhood on the Nintendo DS, which is pretty damn bad. And some people will even consider Sonic 06 as an RPG, even though it's not. Just because you have a town, you can talk to people, you know, and NPCs and shit. And that's also a terrible game, so... I think Sonic is just better if Sonic stays the hell away from the genre. They tried it a couple of times. It worked horribly. We don't need more Sonic RPGs. We don't need a single more. Not one more. Never again. Please no. Please no, Sega. Sega. Not replay, but your first time plays the games. Are you trying to ask me, Vent, what JRPGs have I played this month? I thought you were... I mean, you were literally asking if I play... What JRPG games do you play this month, I mean? Well, okay, this month, well, it's only been like 10 days, right? Apart from the ones that you probably saw me playing live yesterday and the days before it. On my own free time, I've been playing Blue Reflection. Would you say that G10 Megami Tensei was a bad game? I've never heard about it. What's that? G10 Megami Tensei? What's that? I've never heard of G10 Megami Tensei. I don't know what that is. Sonic CD is great. The one Sega CD? Okay. Hey Brian, what's up? Good music, right? Panzer Dragoon. Just Panzer Dragoon, not Panzer Dragoon Saga, just Panzer Dragoon. How can I make my stream, this fucking camera, man? Wait a second. There's no fixing this fucking camera. Nothing I can do. It's shit. Well, what, you know, for my 700 views that I get for these Q&As? Saturn JRPGs are almost all in Japan, sadly. No, that's not true. Have you played and finished Metal Saga on PS2? I have played it, I didn't finish it, I couldn't get into it. After all, I wasn't a big fan of it. I don't think it's a bad game, you know, it's just... I just don't really like playing those where the hell do I go, what the hell do I do kind of games, you know? Like the Romancing Saga games or the Oni Saga game, you know, you need a walkthrough to get into Metal Saga or games like that. So, yeah, I don't think it's a bad game though. I like the fact that it's you can get a bad ending right at the start. You start in this garage and you answer some questions, and if you answer a different thing, you get a bad ending immediately. That's cool. I've never played Metal Saga live though. Maybe I should do that one of these days, but I remember the beginning being really slow-paced. I mean, you go around town and you explore and talk to people, you know, but you don't know where to go or what to do. It's like, I talk to everybody. What do you want me to do, game? What do I do here? And then you finally figure it out, where to go, and you're supposed to go into the junkyard and find some things, and you get into a lot of battle, random encounters, you know? It's a really slow game. I don't think it's a great game, but not a bad game. G10 Megami Tensei Tokyo Mokushiro is a spin-off game from the Megami Tensei series published for PC in 1997. Good to know. Your thoughts on about Atelier Ryza Trilogy Collection. Unfortunately, I've only played the first game. I've heard good things about the second game. I don't know anything about the third game. And you can find my full thoughts on the first game, at least, in a review that I did about it some years ago. I think it was like 3 years ago. Yeah, it's been a while. It's been like actually exactly 3 years ago, if memory serves me well. I think I beat that game in August of 2022. Could be wrong though, but check it out. Check out my review of Atelier Ryza. Back then I felt like it was the hardest Atelier game I ever played, but then Sophie happened, and NSK and Logi happened. Have you tried DockStation for PS1 emulation? No, I don't think I have. Gurumin, this is Gurumin, right? From Falcom? This is a Falcom action RPG for kids. It's pretty fun. It's got a lot of charm, great music. If they were to make an Octopath Traveler 3, aren't they doing that already? Didn't Octopath Traveler 0 get announced like 2 weeks ago or something? Or like a week ago? They are doing it, Brian. It's just not called 3, it's called 0. But it's like the same as a third game, main game in the series. And what would I want out of it? I want politics and censorship out of it. That's all I want. When I finish the JRPG, when I finish a JRPG game series or standalone games, have you ever felt like, what now? Yeah, a lot. Who doesn't go through that? You know, whenever you finished watching a long show, you know, or a really good movie, or a really long JRPG or RPG, you know, or like an entire series like you mentioned. Yeah, who hasn't failed that at least once? Can't tell. I can guarantee a lot of people here in the chat know what that feels like. You finish something awesome or a long RPG and it's like, oh my god, what am I gonna do with my life now? Yeah, I failed that numerous times. I failed that when I finished Fate Extra Triple Z. I was like, the game was so fucking good, Fate Extra, that I beat it. When did I beat it? Like a week ago? Like right before the review. Like I was so fucking impressed by the game that I wrote the review the same day. I usually wait 1 day or two to write my review to digest the game, but I couldn't resist. I was like, no, I gotta start writing the review immediately, and that's what I did. Because that happened to me. I beat the game and I was like, what now? Fuck. You guys don't watch my videos? Yeah, I know that. I know you guys just join the Q&As. You guys just join the Q&As to ask me questions about stuff that is already answered in the videos. I know you never watch the videos, don't worry about it. Have you managed to play Clair Obscur yet? What a question. Interesting, original question, never been asked before. No one's ever asked me that. Wow, thank you. You're gonna get a heart on your comment right now, because no one's ever asked me that. Oh, I can't give you a heart apparently. Fuck you, YouTube. I should be able to put hearts in my comments, in my questions, because they're so good and original and unique. Well, yeah, I guess we don't want to get into that topic, don't. That's opening Pandora's Tower here. Let's not do that. Rune Factory. I still can't get into Rune Factory. I still haven't given the series a second chance. At this point, I think at this point, like, I don't really care about it anymore. For some reason, it's one of those series that I promised I will give a chance one day, but I said that like 10 years ago, and I've been saying that ever since, and I can't, so... Are there any genres no one will expect you to like that you actually really like? What about you? What genre you don't expect me to like? Let's see if I like it. Because I mean, it's just easier to tell you which genres I don't like. I don't like first-person shooters, I don't like sports games, rhythm games. That's it, you know, I pretty much like everything else. You don't expect me to like RTS? Well, there you go, I do like them. Racing games? I do like them. But really like? No, I really like some RTS games like Green Grimoire. And basically the Grow Lancer series are real-time strategy games. They're just RPGs, you know. So I like racing games. I wouldn't say I really like racing games, no. But I like some racing games. I'm just not a big fan. It's one of my least favorite genres, but I like it. You know, I like some racing games. Some of my favorite racing games, Horizon Chase Turbo, but especially Super Off-Road. Visual novels, well, I like some RPGs with visual novel, like a mix of both. Like, if you're gonna give me, if I'm gonna play a visual novel, it better be a fucking RPG, right? Like Sakura Wars, Uta Warerumono, dare I say Fate Extra even, you know? Like visual novels, I say 97% of the game is just reading and reading and reading. Yeah, I don't really like those, but you shouldn't be surprised. Shoot 'em ups, I do like shoot 'em ups, you know? I wouldn't say it's one of my least favorite genres, nor one of my favorite. It's like in the middle, you know, but I do like some shoot 'em ups. You shouldn't be surprised. And I really like some of them, actually. There's only like 2 or 3 that I can tell you that I really like. Such as Caladrius Blaze, Shikondo is my favorite. Lords of Thunder. Farming simulators, believe it or not, no I don't, but there's one that I fucking love, passionately, the first Farm Frenzy. And I played it on a PC a long time ago. I bought a laptop like 12 years ago, 13 years ago actually, and it came with a bunch of games, including Plants vs. Zombies, Bejeweled, and back then I had nothing to play, because I used to take the laptop to work, to my retro store, and I had nothing to play. Literally, I had no portable systems or TV. All I had was my little laptop, my notebook, and I played the shit out of Plants vs. Zombies, became a huge fan, Bejeweled, and Farm fucking Frenzy, believe it or not. But Farm Frenzy is basically the only farm simulator I like. All the others, like, I couldn't care less. So I only became a fan of Farm Frenzy because I had nothing else to play back then. I beat Plants vs. Zombies and I was like, what now? Well, there you go. Farm Frenzy was there and I gave it a chance and I beat the shit out of that game. Great. But I never really got into the others, just that one. Command and Conquer? No, I've never played that. I know the game in the franchise, you know, but I've never played that. I played StarCraft, couldn't get into it. But I do like some RTS games. What boss... I'm not sure I understand your question this time, Vent. What boss I thought was so hard to beat? But then when I check the boss status, like in a fandom, the status makes no sense. What? I don't know. I'm sorry, man, I don't understand the question. Like, are you trying to ask me if what boss I thought was too hard, but the fandom doesn't consider the boss too hard, maybe? The worst is when a visual novel turns into a kinetic novel where there is only one correct answer and everything else is a fail state. Oh, like fucking Danganronpa? That? And it keeps repeating and looping until you get the answers correctly? That's Danganronpa. Gacha games. Yeah, you shouldn't expect me to play gacha games. That's a good assumption. That's a genre nobody should expect me to play or like. And they're right. Hoyo-verse games are a waste. Okay. What's the most bizarre boss mechanic you've ever seen? Bizarre boss mechanic? I mean, there's gotta be some, you know. I can't think of one right now. Oh, this one isn't exactly bizarre, but it's super annoying. I remember a boss in Edge of Eternity. You move on grids. It's not a strategy RPG, but you move on grids, and you gotta, like, move your characters to turn off some fucking switch so the boss can be vulnerable, but by the time you get back to it, the switch is back up again. It's a terrible, absolutely terrible boss fight. I should do a top 10 of that, but you know how people are in my channel. Spoilers, spoilers, spoilers. You know, all I'll do is explain the battle, don't worry. The most annoying boss battles ever. I did one called the most unfair. That was ages ago, that was like in 2019. Top 10 most unfair JRPG boss battles. That's a video with a lot of views. Thank God it got a lot of views, it was a pain in the ass to do. Have you played Cuphead? Yes, I have. It's a great game. I have never finished it because it's super hard, as you already know. Oh, now I understand your question. So the status info is HP is 500,000 with defense 999. I don't think I've ever beaten a boss like that, ever. What is Danganronpa in your opinion? What genre is it? Like an adventure game? Is your love for the Trails series still present? My love for the Trails series from Reverie and below that will always be present. Anything after that I don't give a shit about. Did you ever beat the original Final Fantasy XII? Just Zodiac Age. I beaten the original, only once. Zodiac Age, I don't think I ever beaten it. I played a shit ton of it, you know, just to be able to talk about it and compare it to the original. Covered in a bunch of videos, but I've never beaten the Zodiac Age, just the original. No, Donsk, I don't like saga games. I'll play the Trails in the Sky remake, you know. But if it's politicized or censored or altered, you will never see me talking about it. Have you ever played the Onimusha series? Yes, I have, the first one only. I really couldn't get into it back then, maybe I should give it a second chance, but I will play the originals, not the censored remasters. But, I don't know, I don't know, man, there's something about the Onimusha series that wasn't appealing to me. I really liked Onimusha Tactics, though, because it's a strategy RPG. But the PS2 games, for some reason I just never got into them. They don't appeal to me. Well, hopefully, Brian, we can only hope. Is the Digital Devil Saga duology the only JRPG with cannibalism superpower mechanics? There's gotta be another one. I feel like I've played another one where you did something similar. Like you eat or absorb other characters or enemies, you know, to get stronger. There's gotta be something else, right? I'm pretty sure. I mean, I don't think there's another one as blatant as Digital Devil Saga, though. But there's gotta be a lot of JRPGs, a bunch of JRPGs that have a similar mechanic. You know? I know there's some... Can't think of one, but there's gotta be one. So the Danganronpa series, according to Aurora, are adventure games with a focus on logic puzzles. Yeah. Actually, a lot of visual novel games could be considered as adventure games. Some people think of the Sakura Wars series as adventure games because the RPG elements are pretty small. But yeah. They're arguably a visual novel or arguably an adventure game. Like, I don't disagree with that. Disgaea does that? You mean the cannibalism? How? Well, some Disgaea games, right? Doesn't Disgaea 5 have a feature like that? Mega Man Battle Network? I don't remember Mega Man Battle Network having such a mechanic, but I only play the first game. Yeah, there's one Disgaea game. You sire characters in Disgaea to feed them to the other characters. Oh, but not the first one, right? Isn't that a mechanic of like 5 or something? Oh, I don't remember. I haven't played a Disgaea game in a long time. Is it true that most unbeatable boss fights are scripted? Most, yeah. I mean, they are. Do you play other genres? Platformers, action, adventure, fighting? Yes. We were just talking about that like 10 minutes ago, sweet tea, before you arrived. I play a lot of video game genres all the time. Go to my Twitch channel. On Twitch is where I play most of other genres. Here on YouTube, I stick to RPGs. The occasional fighting game, maybe. I just did Ehrgeiz. I played Ehrgeiz this week, which is a mix of action RPG with a fighting game with mini games. with unfair, broken-ass beach running games featuring Tifa Lockhart. But yeah, I do play other genres. Link to my Twitch channel in the description. It's alive. It's still alive, believe it or not. And I play other video game genres in there. But if in case you missed them, I usually upload my Twitch live streams on my second YouTube channel, which you will also find in the description. You know what else you're gonna find in the description of this live stream? A link to my books. I'm an author. Oh yeah, I am. I'm being serious here. I'm an author. I've written some books. They're both available. They're all available in English. You can buy them on Amazon, physical. You can also buy them digital. Digital, it should be like $3, $3 US, you know, anywhere in the world. Physical may be restricted to some territories only because fucking Amazon. What do you want me to do? But if you want to collect my books, you can find them in the description below. Link to my books. I have books for a little bit of everything, you know. Psychological horror, dark gothic dramas, RPGs inspired books, Fire Emblem Suikoden inspired books, you know. It's a bit of everything. So link to my books in the description, guys. And also to my Patreon page. If you would like to support my channel so I can continue making videos, you should do that. Link to my Patreon page in the description. It's a great way to support me. Or also PayPal, or you can just do a super chat right here, right now in the Q&A. Your nephew keeps telling you that you're based? Based on what? I asked the same thing before I knew the meaning. Some people showed up in my chat and said, hey, I didn't know you were so based. And I was like, what's that? Based on what? Well, they explained it to me. Based is pretty much somebody who... from what I understand, based is someone who has his eyes open. You know? That rejects politics and knows what's going on and is in favor of free speech and against censorship. That's somebody who's based, to my understanding. Which game has the most shitty camera system in a JRPG? Well, you just mentioned it yourself. It's called Xenogears. Suikoden Woven Web of the Century also has a really bad camera. The one on PSP, which is fan translated, that one has a really bad camera. Don't you eat meat of monsters in Saga to change your monster to monster? What? Inherited trails were in the very first Disgaea traits. Oh, so it's from the first Disgaea. There's cannibalism since the first Disgaea. Interesting. Thank you very much, Yum Yum. Have you seen Eric Lennon RPG Q&As? I haven't. If so, like, subscribe, super chat, and share this channel with your friends. That's right. So, subscribe. I know a lot of you think you are subscribed. Check twice. YouTube often unsubscribes viewers, and they admitted that finally. I'm working on a video to expose some things about YouTube, you know. But I recently recorded a conversation that I had with somebody in the chat support. And she finally admitted some things that I was so overwhelmed that I was like, I can't believe you just admitted this. Thanks. You're welcome. Do you have any more questions? Can I help you with anything else? And I was like, no, thanks. I had more questions, you know, but I was so shocked to see YouTube admitting a YouTube employee. Maybe I shouldn't expose this employee. Maybe she's gonna get fired. But she said some things that... Like, she admitted that YouTube unsubscribes people, you know, from channels just to fuck them up, just to fuck with them. Unbelievable. So subscribe. Just make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Like, as you already know, I have been completely destroyed when it comes to subscriptions. YouTube has put me on some kind of loop, and I can't get past since about a year ago. For an entire fucking year, I've been on 101,000 subscribers. I can't get to 102. Did YouTube admit you're shadow banned? Not with those words, you know. But the girl I talked to, she pretty much admitted that, you know, there's some things going on, you know. No, YouTube will never admit somebody's shadow banned. YouTube does not recognize shadow banning in public. Even if you don't look it up on Google. Use another browser like Brave. For example, use Brave or Doc or whatever, you know. Don't use Google or Mozilla for this. But if you look it up, you will receive an explanation by the AI saying that shadow banning is fucking real. That they've done it to a lot of people, that there's a crap ton of evidence from like the hundreds of thousands of YouTubers. But YouTube has never recognized shadow banning. I don't know why. I don't know why they don't recognize it, because it's not like it's illegal. You know, if it was illegal, then I'll get it. But everybody, including me, will be suing them. I will sue them, you know, but unfortunately shadow banning is legal because they shadow ban you if you break the rules, if you don't follow the community guidelines. And when you sign up for monetization for your channel, you sign. You literally sign and you send your ID. That's what I did like 8 years ago when I got this channel monetized, you know. So you agree. So they have every right to shadow ban you if you're breaking the rules, which I broke. So, for what purpose do they shadow ban you? For swearing a lot, for a lot of things, you know. For speaking against left-wing politics, for inciting controversial social controversies like racism and sexism, you know. Or if you say anything that they considered sexist or misogynist or racist or homophobic or whatever, they shadow ban you. Or if you insult them, like a certain YouTuber like me, if you insult them, if you insult like super millionaire companies like Disney, Square Enix, and they find out, they can send an email to YouTube saying, hey, this YouTuber is insulting me or attacking me, you know. So yeah, for those reasons they can shadow ban you. Anyway, you know, just support the channel. Support the channel if you can. Become a Patreon. You can support me for $1 fucking a month. Just $1 a month. You know, you can do that. You're supporting me. You can do a super chat. You can donate on PayPal. Or the least you can do is just subscribe. If you aren't subscribed, just click the subscribe button, you know. Help me try at least to overcome the loop that YouTube put on me. Just subscribe. Make sure you're subscribed. That's the most important thing. Have I ever played Shadow Hearts? Have I ever... Which 5 games did you beat the most often? Alright, so Chrono Cross number 1. I've beaten Chrono Cross like probably 7, 8 times. Like number 2... Like, I don't know. Super Mario RPG, maybe. I beat the shit out of Super Mario RPG. I beaten the remake too. I've only beaten the remake once, but the original Super Nintendo version, I feel like I beat the game like at least 5 times. Probably, you know. I also beat Final Fantasy IX. I've beaten Final Fantasy IX probably about 4 times. 5, I'm not sure, but 4 times at least, you know. 3, 4 times. I've beaten Valkyrie Profile 2, Silmeria, probably at least 3 times. Grow Lancer 5, Heritage of War. That I beat live too, just like Chrono Cross, you know. Grow Lancer 5, I've beaten the game at least 3 times. At least 3 times, you know. Yeah, that will be my top 5 probably. Suikoden 5, 3 times. Suikoden 2, 3 times. There's a lot. In case you're interested, there's a video that I did called 10 JRPGs that I've beaten more than once. Check it out if you have time. So what do you What did you end up thinking of that illusory dungeon ROM hack for Fire Emblem? I loved it. It's super stupidly hard though. But I loved it, and what can I say? It's addicting, you know. Is YouTube your livelihood? Yes, it is. It is my livelihood. I'm not gonna bullshit you guys. I make like $5 to $10 a month from my books on Amazon. No way in hell am I ever gonna make a living out of that, you know. I make like probably $30 a month off of Twitch. $30 a month if I'm lucky. And I don't get paid on Twitch unless I reach $50. So I only get paid on Twitch every 2 months. And sometimes it's just that, it's just 50, you know. Most of the time it's just $50, you know, every 2 months. So yeah, YouTube is what I got, dude. I also have Patreon. I can't make a living out of just Patreon, but it helps me, you know, continue to make videos. Because ever since I got shadow banned here on YouTube a year ago, my revenue was cut 50%. My views were cut 50%. The views, I'm sure you guys have noticed. And the subscribers, right? I mean, that got reduced to like almost 100%. I'm stuck. So yeah, YouTube is basically my livelihood. Not really, Zier. That's exactly what he was trying to achieve. He failed miserably, thankfully. So not really. My current situation is YouTube. YouTube is to blame for all of my issues here on the website. Those guys, you know, they're just attention-seeking whores. Between Sega and Square Enix, which of the two do you think is the least bad? Oh boy. So you're making me decide between dog shit and cat shit. Alright. Good question. Is Twitch as bad as YouTube regarding censorship? Yes, it is. Probably worse, actually. But the thing about Twitch is that they don't care about me. I have like 1,100 followers and like 5 or 7 subscribers, and most of my live streams get like 100 views, like 150 views. So they don't give a shit about me. But yeah, Roberto, Twitch is just as bad as YouTube with censorship and politics, you know. And the narrative and agendas and stuff like that, you know. Have you tried the Runs series? Not yet. I know you've been insisting on that. Not yet. I'll get there one day. Exactly, Brian. It used to be $100. I remember that. That was like several years ago. You don't get to $100, you don't get paid shit on Twitch. That bad. Thank God they downgraded to 50. Thank goodness. So the extremely small Twitch streamers like me can get paid. Do you know anything about the new Superman movie? No. All I know is that it got like every superhero movie nowadays. It's full of political bullshit. And a lot of people hated the movie. Like, I stopped caring about superhero movies many years ago. Is that a trick question, Brian? Because Sega and Atlus are basically the same thing nowadays. Is that a trick question? I should start a Fansly? What's that? Like an OnlyFans stuff? I should do that, definitely. I should get naked and wear sexy and kinky outfits for money. Should do that. Yeah. Coming soon. What motivates you to play those games again? That was a long time ago, man. Nowadays I have no time to replay video games because of my job, this channel. And I guess it motivates me because I love them so much. There's so many things about them, like not achievements, you know, more like, yeah, different routes and endings. Or I beat them again because they're so addictive to play, or kind of easy, or I got so good at them that they're a walk in the park on my second playthrough and third playthrough, you know. Or now there's a new game plus that makes me completely overpowered and I can just rush through the entire game and killing the shit out of everybody easily, you know. So many different things. No, Sega is also a developer, not just a publisher. Oh, which one has the worst offenses to your mind, like, throughout their entire history? Sega. I mean, come on, Sega has been fucking up since the 90s, man. Badly. Atlus wasn't this bad. Atlus just got bad, what, like 4 or 5 years ago? And it's just Atlus of America, not the developer in Japan. Just Atlus West is what's garbage nowadays, but Sega has been like a mixed bag since the 80s. So many good things they've done, but also so many bad things. Falcom says Trails will end soon. Thank God. Please end. Like, the E-Break trilogy was completely unnecessary. It was like, Reverie should have been the end. Have you guys played Reverie? Play it, finish it, and you're gonna be like, this is it. This is where it should end. This is an epic ending. That's it. We don't need any more of these fucking universe and characters. Dude. So what? Back then, I used to think that, oh, so eventually, 20 years from now, we're gonna get a game with Rein Schwarzer and his grandkids. With, like, gray hair. And then his grandkids are gonna take over, and then the grandkids of their grandkids of their grandkids. Like, it's never gonna end. Thank God it's ending. Thank you, Falcom. I love the Legend of Heroes, but thank God it needs to end. Have you replayed Rhapsody, a musical adventure? Actually, I have. That's such an easy and short game that, of course, you know, I beat it twice. I beat it originally on the PlayStation 1 many years ago, and then it got a remaster in a collection with La Pucelle Tactics for Switch. So I got that, and I beat it twice. Well, only once this time around, so I beat the game twice. You can beat that game in like 8 hours, maybe 10 hours, you know? You can beat the game in less than 10 hours, and it's super easy. Reverie has the best post-game content. Yeah, well, one of the best, you know, nothing beats for me. Well, there are other games where the post-game is basically a second arc, like God Eater, the God Eater series, Dragon Quest XI, you know, it's basically a second quest to get the true ending. Stuff like that, you know. But I really enjoy the post-game content in Reverie. Reverie is great for the gameplay, you know. The story and the translation are like bad. I don't think the story is bad, it's just not good either. But the translation makes it terrible, you know. You play Reverie for the gameplay, the music, the graphics, the waifus, you know. You mentioned that current games are controlled politically. What future games that catch your attention that may pass your palette are there? None. I lost faith in the video game industry last year, which is why I've been focusing on other games, you know? You should already know that. I have no hope for anything. I will play some of them, you know? I'm gonna play Trails in the Sky remake, you know, just to see. But, like, I don't care anymore. Like, Raiden Kusunoha remaster, I haven't played it. All I know is that they censored the Rising Sun flag, which it may be like something stupid to most of you. Oh, it's just a stupid flag, right? But no, the intention. Censoring the flag is stupid, you know, it's just silly. But why they censor that flag, that's the real fucking problem. Well, in case you want to know, the Rising Sun flag represents basically the Japanese military. So censoring it is basically an insult to the military, to the people, the soldiers that have given their lives in Japan. What the hell do I know? You know, I don't know much about military or Japanese military politics, you know. But it's the same flag you see in Karate Kid. It's the same flag you see in a lot of movies, you know. In a lot of it was part of their culture, and it was a big deal But Atlus, no, they censor the flag because it's I don't know why. They probably think the flag it represents right-wing politics. I don't fucking know. Radical, there's radical. Everybody's a radical nowadays. Everybody's a radical. Like, the only reason why I like talking about politics is to shit on them. But then everybody gets offended, you know. I offend everybody. Left wing, right wing, center, libertarian, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Everybody gets offended. Yeah, that's great, Brian. You already know I don't give a shit about that. About that arc. Rhapsody also had a release on the Nintendo DS. It is exactly the same game, it's just the battle system is the only thing that changes. It's now turn-based, which resembles more the battle system seen in Rhapsody 2. Either version is fine, you know, it's the same game. Hell, you know, the Nintendo DS version might be shorter because you can just beat it in less. I mean, you don't have to deal with the grid-based combat anymore. It's just regular turn-based, you know. No, please don't do that, Kondo. Don't do that. Trails needs to die, please. And don't make any more deals with this America. Thank you. What's this music? Scarlet Nexus, wow. Oh wow, I'm shocked. This is from Scarlet Nexus? Wow. Doesn't sound like a Scarlet Nexus song. It's great. I like it a lot. You know what's really radical? Surfers from the 1980s. No, Quario. I have not played Fuga Melodies of Steel 3. You see how disinterested I am from modern games? Like, extremely. I will, of course I'm gonna play it at some point, you know, but not right now. You thought radicals are the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? Well, that's rad! Radical! That's right. Chaos Wars, huh? Scarlet Nexus 2. You want Scarlet Nexus 2? That'll be interesting. This is a game, this is an underrated game. It got a lot of shit. Sure, it's not like wow, you know, it's like an 8 out of 10 game. Well, 8 out of 10 according to my standards, which is like, my 8s are like the equivalent of maybe 7 or 7.8 on a Metacritic, you know? I don't know. I can't translate my scores to you. This is why it's better to stick to my scores. Find my scores in my blog, my website. Description. Scores. Description. Click on the blog. I update it often. I missed your last comment, Luis. Is Steam the next platform where games mostly are uncensored? I wouldn't say it's the next platform. It's the actual current platform where games are mostly uncensored. Will you consider yourself an anarchist? Unfortunately, that's a word that has completely lost its meaning nowadays. But yeah, I guess I am some kind of old school anarchist, you know, always against the system and the government, no matter what. Right? I don't like that anarchism is nowadays often associated with left-wing or liberal, and I'm not that, so... you know what I consider myself? Eric Landon. I consider myself me. That's me. Like those labels, no, forget about it. I'm just me. I'm a human being with different points of view, perspectives, beliefs, ideas, you know. I'm just me. That's what I consider myself, me. What's your RPG? I'm always trying to translate your questions, Vent. Like this time I don't understand it. What JRPG has the most playable characters? Yeah, that's your question, right? You mean, okay, so Radiata Stories has like 100 and something, you know, more than Suikoden. But then again, you can't have them all recruited to your party, so it doesn't count. It's either you recruit the human characters or the non-human characters. It's not like you can do a playthrough and recruit both, you know, all of them. Then you will have like 175 characters total. But the fact that you can only recruit one side or the other, that makes it to like 80 characters, which is still a little bit more than Suikoden, because in Suikoden, sure, you recruit 108, but more than half of the characters you recruit are not playable. They're just there to serve as something, you know, like the elevator guy or the cook or the poker guy or the girl who cleans, like, you know what I mean, right? So not all Suikoden, all the Suikoden games have like 50 or 60 playable characters, whereas Radiata Stories is about 80, you know, so Radiata Stories will be an answer. Yeah. Strictly JRPGs, you know, there are other games out there that have a crap ton of playable characters. You should play a game that's extremely political to the point of intolerable. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll play Concord tomorrow. Or Dragon Age. Have you heard Amazon and other retailers are sticking the middle finger to Nintendo's rising prices by selling Switch consoles and games for slightly cheaper? No, I haven't heard that. That's interesting. Are they doing that? I didn't know they were doing that. Like Amazon giving the middle finger to Nintendo? Aren't they on the same side? That's interesting, if it's true. If so, when will you dive into Steam? I know, Yum Yum. Last year I got into the world of fan translations, and I can't seem to get out of it. There's so many fucking good games to play that are fan translated, and they're free. You know, and Steam, I have to pay. I have to use money. And I don't. I mean, look at my current economic situation, man. I got fucked in the ass by YouTube last year, you know, and I haven't been able to recover, so emulation is all I got nowadays. I don't follow anybody on Twitter or YouTube. You no longer support Nintendo. Okay. Good. Nobody should support those companies, in my opinion. We'll see what happens. Visa and MasterCard became extremely Orwellian lately. I'm waiting to see what happens. Like, Visa and MasterCard are... the intention of what they're doing is fucking evil, but on the outside, it just seems like they're trying to prohibit you from purchasing porn or hentai, you know? I don't buy anything like that, so... Because it's fucking free, why would you buy that? But anyway, yeah, fucking evil what they're trying to do, trying to control what you can or can't buy, you know? It's just... That's awful. Isn't everyone giving Nintendo the middle finger these days? Thankfully. Okay. So it's one version of the Switch, the OLED, and it's more likely than not a $300 instead of $330 because they have a ton of stock they got screwed on selling by the release of the Switch 2. I don't understand that much, you know. Like I said, you know, I got too involved with the fan translations universe, and I'm there. Like I don't really follow what's happening with Nintendo and Amazon or Steam, you know, stuff like that. Sorry, I don't have an opinion on that. Apart from the Nintendo religious zealots and shields, who is following Nintendo? Can you recommend JRPGs that have a much more serious tone and dark feeling, like Kurelka? Sure, you can play Xenogears, you can play Chrono Cross, you can play Radiant Historia, you can play the Nier games. Can't get any more mature than that. The Nier Replicant, Gestalt, and Automata. What else? You can play Redemption Reapers. Great JRPG that's extremely mature, no childish, no slice of life shenanigans, you know. You can, there's a lot of them, man. You just need to look for them. Lost Odyssey, that's one I can think of. It has a couple of kid characters though. Might not be what you're looking for, but it's there. You can play Fate Extra, man. You should play Fate Extra and Fate Extra Triple C. Highly recommended. I just did a review on those games. Very mature. Some slice of life bullshit too, but it's mostly, you know, really mature dialogue. The Drakengard trilogy, exactly, you know. Agreed. But the Drakengard trilogy, they're full of gameplay issues, man. Stories are great in all three of them, especially in 1 and 3, but they have a lot of gameplay issues. What's your desert island game? Only one more game you can play for the rest of your life. Chrono Cross. That's a game I'll probably never get tired of playing. I can play that game again and again for the rest of my life. Which is why it's my favorite. That's my game. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that. Nintendo realized they fucked up and now they're... okay. Good. Piracy is the way. Well, I wouldn't exactly call emulation nowadays piracy, you know. But I don't want to get into that. Are there any difference between Fate Extra Perfect Patch and the normal one? Yes. Perfect Patch. I just played the first couple of hours a few weeks ago. I'll upload the gameplay on my second channel next week. The most notable difference is that it's a better translation. The original translation from Axis Games from like 15 years ago, it was good, you know, but it wasn't that great and it took some liberties. So Perfect Patch is more faithful to the original Japanese script, and also it's more faithful also to the Fate lore, the Fate universe, the entire Fate universe. Like, it makes more sense, you know, now. I mean, if you've seen Fate Stay Night, Fate Zero, you know, you might get some references now. Apart from that, I don't remember. I read other differences, you know, which were not so relevant, but like honestly, Perfect Patch is the best way to play Fate Extra, because number one, what I just told you, better translation, and number two, Fate Extra is like $100 game. So unless you're willing to spend that, or I don't know how much it goes for digital in the PlayStation Vita store. I'm not sure how much it goes for, but the physical version of Fate Extra is like a $70, $80 game nowadays. So Perfect Patch is the best way to play the original Fate Extra. Just to live on for the music at least. That's right, Matthew. But I enjoy every bit of that game. Everything of that game. I love everything about it. I wouldn't just leave it there for the music. I will play it again and again. That's a great idea, Yum Yum. Hey, Ilias, what's up? Take care, Brian. Have you played a game you thought would be rubbish, but you were pleasantly surprised by it? Well, I have 6 videos called 10 JRPGs that surpassed my expectations. Like, granted, most of them I didn't think they were going to be garbage or rubbish, but there's some in there that I thought for sure were gonna be like, this is gonna be ass. And wow, I was like, holy shit. I'm gonna give you one right now. We were just talking about it, Rhapsody. Rhapsody, a musical adventure. When I played the game, I was like, fuck it, this is gonna be trash, and no, pleasant surprise. Another one, we're listening to the song right now. This game you're listening to right now, that's another one. Both of them. Which has... Wait a second, does Mexico go after pirates, or they don't care? They don't care. I mean, they kind of do, and they've done some massive raids to a lot of flea markets, but they don't care. Which has the better library for JRPGs in your opinion? PS1 or PS2? PS2. Tempted to say PS1, that's a hard question, but I'm a PS2 guy. Hey, Gustavo! I can tell that you really are getting your foot in good place with your channel. Glad that you are changing your content where your heart tells you. You're a content creator yourself? I didn't know you were a content creator. Haven't seen you in a while, man. Thank you for supporting me on Patreon, by the way. Appreciate that. I mean, considering you're from Argentina, I really appreciate it, man. Thanks. And I appreciate your comment as well. Yeah, I'm sticking to what I believe. And I didn't really change my... Well, I did change my content. I'm trying to stay away from modern games. But that's about it, you know, everything else is the same, you know, I'm still doing top 10s, reviews, live streams, nothing's changed. It's just I don't do modern games anymore. You still have your complete copies of Xenosaga 1 and 3. Are you sitting on a gold mine? You're sitting on a gold mine with 3. Xenosaga 1 goes for like $20, man, 30 max. It's a cheap game. But Xenosaga 3... Didn't you watch my Holy Grails video? Go and watch it. The crown you have on your comment is just something YouTube came up with to make you feel special for chatting too much. I wish you guys could get crowns for doing super chats. Or at least you get like a highlighted message, you know. Look at this, it's been 1 hour already, and I've only received 1 super chat. I'm leaving. Thanks for watching. Oh, Atelier Ryza 2 is like expensive. It's like $100 game, right? I want to make a video. Like, I don't think a lot of people will watch the video, but since last year, I've been tempted to do a video on JRPGs that are over $100. There's a lot. That'll be like a top 100. Like more than half of the PS1 library or Super Nintendo, right? But yeah, I'm always interested in the $100 club. Always interested in that. You know? It used to, back in my day, it used to be the $50 club. Remember that? Most of you probably don't remember that. Because I'm sure most of you who are collectors became collectors just a few years ago. But I've been a collector for 15 years. And back then, it wasn't the $100 club, it was the $50 club. Oh, that game is already $50. Ooh, because $50 15 years ago was like expensive. It's basically the equivalent of $100 nowadays. But nowadays, it's like $50. It's nothing, right? It is. It's still something. It's a lot of money. Still a lot of money, especially for second and third world countries, you know. But yeah. But nowadays it's like no one cares. Oh, the game's $50. Oh, that's normal. But now the $100 club, you know, that's interesting. And Atelier Ryza 2 is one of those. Anyway, so... well, I'm not sorry, Abdo. I'm not sorry, I'm happy. I'm completely fulfilled and satisfied and happy that my journey ended with Trails into Reverie. I'm happy. I will not support politicized translations and censorship. Oh, yeah, Sebastian, that happened too here in Mexico long ago. Not so anymore, but I did get to watch a couple of bootleg pirated movies where the guy just sat on the theater and filmed the movie. I'll never forget that. I was like, this is what? I paid 50 cents for this? Piracy is like a meme, a giant meme in Latin America. You wouldn't believe it. Yeah, Telia Ryza 2 is expensive right nowadays. You bought Ryza 2 for $80. Yeah, it's still... I mean, some resellers may still have it for $100. You know, but it's mostly an $80 game. It's expensive. Not really a fan of God of War. I don't know why, you know, I should go back to the original PS2 games and play them. I remember playing the first two games and I never beat them, but what I played was cool, you know. But I don't have an opinion, really. Not really a fan. Maybe one day. What's my next video? Probably a review. Did you notice that you are like a fortune teller? The things are demanding like ID, personal information, etc. Modern gaming, it's doomed. I'm a fortune teller. Okay. We need a Nintendo Switch RPG, any list. What? I've done a crap ton of videos on that, dude. And yes, I have played Vanquish. Not my cup of tea. Good game, though. A review with the docs? No. Like, I don't want to abuse some of my guests, like the dragon, like Quistis, like the dogs, because otherwise it'll get old, you know? I did a bunch of reviews in a row with the dragon toy action figure and Quistis that I feel like now I regret that, you know? I haven't done a video with those guys, you know, in the video, but like, I'm just gonna use those props, those guests every now and then from now on, you know, not in every video, because then it'll get old really quickly. I have played Castlevania. What kind of question is that? You just noticed that, Luis? That I'm wearing a Shin Megami Tensei t-shirt? Not a clue, Yum Yum. Do you believe the PS6 will be a Switch-like console? No, I believe the PS6 will be a digital-only console, and it's probably gonna be some kind of software. Like, we're not gonna see the actual hardware anymore. It's gonna be like Steam. The PS6 is something you will have to download and install on your computer, and it's gonna be digital only, you know. That's what I believe is gonna be the PS6, and I'm not kidding. We'll see if I'm wrong or not. This is not a request stream, Red Miller, but if you do a super chat, I'll play the song you want me to play. I don't know, Louise. What about Nyx, the red-haired ragdoll on your shelf? Yeah, I was thinking about that. She needs to make an appearance. She used to a long time ago. She appeared in like 2 or 3 videos, you know. Up to the point where it got old, you know. So that's why I stopped using her. But yeah, I mean, she needs to be there eventually in a video or 2. Maybe I'll do some Halloween special. I'm planning to do some reviews for Halloween for October. What was that emblem in Trails that looks like a horse? What? I don't know. What are you talking about? What sounds positively awful for collectors? Luffy and the Fortress of Doom? cool song. Would you rather play an RPG with a light-hearted adventure and witty humor, or an RPG with a deep and well-researched philosophical story? The second one, always, every time. Oh yeah, I always prove my point, right? I called it. We're going into an 1984 world. That's exactly what they want. Or maybe the PS6 will be streaming thanks to cloud gaming. Yeah, that's what I believe. PS6. We're not too far from that. I'm pretty sure PlayStation 6 will get announced in probably 3 years, maybe 2 even. I can't believe the PS5 has been out for almost 5 years. It's insane. It feels like it just came out 2 years ago, the PS5. It still feels new to me. Something positively awful from collectors will be having a complete collection including bad games. Well, let me tell you something, Jerry. There's a lot of really rare and expensive bad games. Like, who wouldn't want to have a copy of the Cheetah Man 2? You know, or that game Caltron 5-in-1. What's the name of that cartridge? Super rare and expensive, and all 5 games are terrible. You know? So a lot of bad games are really expensive. I actually remember making a video about that. About JRPGs that are so bad. Like super bad JRPGs are expensive. You know, some Sega Saturn games, you know. Like My World, My Way on the Nintendo DS. Car Battler Joe. They aren't total shit though, but they're pretty bad. You know? So yeah, and I'm not gonna lie to you. I would love to own those games, precisely because they're rare and expensive. So maybe one day I can sell them for $200 or $300, you know. I mean, I would never pay that much for them, you know. If I ever go somewhere and I see a copy, a complete in-box copy of Car Battler Joe for like $150, I'm not paying that. I know it's probably 200 and something, right? But I wouldn't do that. But if I see it for like $50, I will fucking buy it in a heartbeat. Or even $100 just to resell it. Oh, Yum Yum meant the Erebonia flag emblem. Well, I don't really pay attention to that, you know. I don't know why. Logos, flag designs, emblems, you know. I don't even know what the Fire Emblem looks like. I do know. I would love to write a book about that, Gustavo. But it's too much work for very little reward nowadays, fortunately. How's my day going? Well, pretty bad. I've only received 1 super chat. I don't even know why I bother with these Q&As anymore. There's no money to be made here. So it's doing good, thanks for asking. You've never played Car Battle Joe, what makes the game bad? Wasn't it there? It isn't there in my worst JRPGs series? You're right. It's just a really boring game. You know, quest driven, all you go is like from town to town with an overworld in between. Back and forth. It's a lot of backtracking involved, you know, and all you do is fight or make your way in a really mediocre racing battle game. It's like, it's not a terrible game, it's just bad. It's just you know. Have you tried the fan translation of Racing Lagoon? I've been tempted, but no, I haven't. I've seen it though, but I haven't. Imagine being one of those people who have Superman 64 on their resume, being responsible for that game. Ooh boy. Well, that's a bad game. It's not expensive, it's cheap. I think it's a pretty cheap game. But yeah. I mean, well, look at the story of the guy who did E.T. on the Atari. It's a good story, you know. He said they only gave me 2 weeks to complete the game by myself, you know, on Atari. So no wonder the game turned out to be really bad. Abysmal bad. But yeah, so the Superman 64 team had no excuse. The Natural Doctrine team had no excuse. The Time and Eternity team, which I'm a big fan of the studio, had no excuse. Like the guy from E.T. at least had an excuse for the game being that bad, but those guys didn't have an excuse. There's no excuse to do games that like Life of Black Tiger. You know, who made that? Dude, it's a PS4 game. You had time to make your game good. But no. You know what? AAA studios nowadays have no excuse. Hey, here's a game. Yes, sir, but it has a lot of bugs and glitches and it crashes and I just publish it. We'll do a day 1 patch or something, or a day 10 patch. We'll keep updating it as we go along. Just release it. But it's not complete. I don't just fucking release it, man. Yeah. Those guys have no excuse. I have more respect for the developer of Tracia on the Genesis than the guys who did Cyberpunk. This is a great fucking song, in case you haven't noticed. Then, what JRPG series gets good in the first Bad After Time? Ooh. Good question. Thank you, Gustavo. Thanks a bunch for that. Appreciate it. I guess there aren't that many, you know, maybe Vandal Hearts. Vandal Hearts will probably be my answer to that question. The first game is excellent, but then the second game happened and then there was a third game on the PS3 and it's... that will be my question, Vandal Hearts. Parasite Eve, same. The first game, excellent. The second game... and then the third game is good, but it's like a completely different genre and game now. Like, what the fuck happened there, you know? That's another one. Some will claim Legend of Legaia, but there was only 2 games. And Legaia 2 isn't as bad as I remember. Yeah, what else? Those are the only ones I can think of right now. The designers who made Superman 64 said that the reason was distant objects couldn't be seen. The reason distant objects couldn't be seen was actually supposed to be Kryptonite Frog. Kryptonite Fog? Come on. That's their excuse? Did YouTube send you the trophy for surpassing the 100,000 subscribers? Yeah, that was like a year and a half ago. Yeah, I got it. The plaque, the silver plaque, you know. Yeah, I got it, you know, but they fucked me over right after that, so... Thanks, YouTube, for sending me that. I was like there, aha, this is it, Eric, and good luck enjoying it, because that'll be the last thing we will do for you. Starting now, after, it's like they almost put the shadow ban on my channel right after that, you know. So I got it and I was like, oh yeah, great. And I did a video about it, you know, I did a live stream celebrating that, you know. Right after that, I was like, I'm not getting any better here, YouTube. There's no more growth. No subscribers. You kind of cut my revenue in half, my views in half. Yeah. All you're doing is promoting hatred. Whenever somebody looks me up on Google or YouTube, all they find is just negativity towards me, you know? So, yeah, I should burn that fucking plaque, man. Thank you again, Yum Yum. If I give members, it's better for you? No. Super chats are better. Don't do that, Gustavo. No memberships. I explained that to you on Patreon. I explained the reason why. YouTube is just they discriminate people from being from a third world country. You know, how fucked up is that? don't. Yeah, exactly. Like, what the fuck, man? Why will your donations be less, or your membership donations be less just because you're from Argentina? Like, what the fuck, YouTube? Anyway, so no, super chats. So Yum Yum says, developers cut the testers nowadays. A friend of mine used to work for Sony as a tester. They cut funding when developers can easily update their games with the PS3. Oh, that started all the way back in the PS3 era. Well, don't worry. Now, companies won't need human testers. Everything is gonna be done by AI. Robots are gonna be the testers. And since robots are programmed to be manipulated and corrupted by the same developers and publishers, you know, they're gonna be like, oh no, but 100 AI testers gave the game a go. So, yeah. No more need for human testers or developers, you know. No more need for humans in the entertainment industry. I gotta get on with that. Can you imagine that I'm gonna be turned into a robot one of these days? And it's gonna sound very human. At the beginning it may sound like, hello everybody, this is Eric Landon RPG. Today I'll be reviewing Suikoden 5 on the PlayStation 2. This is one of the best Suikoden games ever made and it's my personal favorite. But then in just a few years, it will sound exactly like me. You won't be able to tell the difference if it's me or a robot explaining the games to you. Dude, this is why I started appearing again in my videos. Like, I know I don't appear anymore in the top 10s in most of them, but in every review, in the large majority of my reviews for the past 6 months or so, I've been appearing, you know. I've been there like, hey, yeah, hey, it's me reviewing the game, not some AI. Me, hello. Like, hey guys, what's up? But as you can see, I have shitty camera and shitty lighting here, so I don't do a lot of reviews here. I have to move to the other room, which has a huge window, and all the light comes to me, like, hey guys, what's up? And all the light pouring over me. You know? Alex Tokash, thank you very fucking much, my friend. Donating by PayPal is better because YouTube doesn't suck 30%. You're right. The best way to support my channel is either Patreon or PayPal. But the super chats help, you know? I appreciate the super chats. You know, people want their names highlighted, you know, so everybody can see that they are the ones supporting the channel, so thank you. I appreciate that. And thank you for the PayPal donation. Really, really appreciate it, man. PayPal only keeps like 6% of this. Wow. It definitely makes my day better. My channel has always deserved more subscribers and views. YouTube sucks. Yeah. It does. Unfortunately. Thank you, Alex. I appreciate that a lot. Hey, Vicente, what's up? YouTube is already flooded with gaming channels that are just AI. Not just gaming channels. It's flooded with channels. Never mind gaming. Never mind the category. YouTube is already... Your sentence should have been... YouTube is already flooded with AI channels. I watched one and it almost fooled me. That was like a few months ago. It popped in my feed. And I was like, the lifestyle of Joe Rogan. And I was like, let's see. I know the guy is filthy rich, you know. Let's see. And it was narrated by this voice that was like, sounded strange. And then it went on from there, on and on and on, until I realized halfway through the video that I wasn't listening to a human being. and then I just fast forward the video till the end, and yeah, I proved it. That's an AI channel. I can't believe it. We had like 1 million views, and it was like, so they also want to replace us YouTubers and content creators here for AI, so they can. I mean, the AI is more easy to control, I guess. Thank you, Vicente. Here to show my support. Love your content, and your how to deal with backlog video has helped me not to get stressed about it. Ooh, that's a long video. That's a long time ago video. How to deal with your JRPG backlog. Isn't that a video where with Aizen from Tales of Berseria in the thumbnail? I'm glad you enjoyed the video, man. That's a video no one talks about. Well, that was ages ago. I should do another video like that. But then you know what I'm gonna say. How to deal with your backlog in 2025. Don't buy new games because politics and censorship. Stick to emulation. I will get in trouble if I... I will only get into a lot of trouble if I did the video again. Like a remake of that video. How to deal with your JRPG backlog in 2025. Don't consume. The thumbnail will be just a red sign saying stop buying games. The end. No, that's against the consumerism rules this website has, so all the developers and publishers will be like hashtag cancel Eric London RPG. He's telling his audience to go to emulate. Anyway, what's your favorite YouTube video you have done? I do get that question every now and then, and I can never answer it because I've done so many videos that it's just so hard. Like, I really put my heart and soul into my videos. Even when I re-upload videos, I'm always worried about, oh, what should I change? Should I make it better? Should I improve it, you know? Like when I do these compilations, like I just did one for the Switch Hidden Gems trilogy that I did years ago. I put all 3 videos together in one video and called it Top 30, you know? I mean, all I did was remove the intro, and I just left the Legendary Sultan intro and play again between each segment to let you know that it's a different video now. So, I mean, I wouldn't go as far as to say that that video is one of my favorites, but you get the idea. I put my heart and soul into every video, so it would be hard for me to choose one. Or sometimes I have to like get out of my, like forget about the fact that I did the video and just watch it from an audience point of view. I can do that. At the beginning I couldn't, but for years I kind of practiced a lot, and nowadays, you know, it's easy for me to watch my videos and pretend I didn't make them, like watch them from a different point of view. And I still couldn't, even taking all of that into consideration, I still couldn't answer that question because I've done so many videos that I really feel proud of. Like off the top of my head, I really like the Fate Extra review. You know, that's like I feel proud how I managed it. It could have been a longer video, but I felt like a lot of people wouldn't watch it. So I tried to make it short, but not as short, just concise enough, until I got everything that I needed to say about those 2 games out of my system, you know. So, and I think it's a really well done video. And before that, I will probably go with the Bearwick Saga review. That was a great video to do. Had a lot of fun. It was therapeutic to do such a video. If you watched it, you probably know why. I can't help myself with the rants, man. I need to rant. I live to rant. Anyway, recently I did a top 10 obscure turn-based JRPGs worth checking out, and dude, I was dying to talk about Blue Reflection, and haven't covered Arts on Elico 2 in a while. I talked about Sense of Destruction, and this time I explained it properly because I feel like I've only talked about Sense of Destruction like 3 times in my entire career, and I didn't really get to explain it properly, how it works, how the battle system works, you know, so I just can't answer that question. Like, what's my favorite YouTube video I've done? The last one that I did. But okay, let me answer it this way. Let's just take a look at the super popular videos that I've done, the ones with hundreds of thousands of views, which aren't many. You know, I can tell you that, well, it's a huge part of my history, and it's a really important video that I did in 2014. Like, I don't feel proud about it because there was no heart and soul in that video. There was heart and soul in the list, in making the list, but I just pulled the video out of my ass. You know, the top 10 PSP JRPGs, you know. It has like almost 800,000 views. And I'm like, great, it's great, I like that, don't take me wrong, but I wish other videos that were proper videos, where I put my heart and soul in the video, a lot of work, editing, research, you know, I wish those videos had that amount of views. But that video, it's not even a video, it's just a slideshow. I pulled it out of my ass. I wasn't even making money 11 years ago. I was just like, hey, here's my top 10 PSP JRPGs, great. And in random order, like number 1 was Spectral Souls. Maybe that's the reason why the video got so popular. Because everybody was clicking on it just to shit on me on the comments, like, what, Spectral Souls number 1? Get the fuck out of here! What the fuck is this video? Where's Crisis Core? Where's Final Fantasy Tactics? You know. But there's top 10 best mature rated JRPGs. I loved making that video, and it's got like 400,000 views. That's my pride and joy, you know, that video. Like 400,000 views for a video like that, and it's a really good video because I highlighted some of my favorite JRPGs ever, some of the darkest shit in there, mature gore, nudity, you know, politically incorrect JRPGs. Because that was gonna be the original video. Before I planned that video, before I made that video, that was gonna be it. I was gonna call it 10 most politically incorrect JRPGs. But I was like, nah, that's not gonna fly on YouTube. YouTube's gonna destroy a video with that title. But then I noticed that most of the JRPGs in the list were mature rated. And then I was like, oh, I can call it that, you know. And I wasn't expecting anything out of it. I was like, YouTube's gonna destroy this video. But no, it went viral. And it did try to destroy the video. Once the video hit, you can find the whole story on my second channel. I talked about it, how YouTube tried to destroy the video. It hit 250,000 views, boom, demonetized. Why? For no reason. They never explained it. Why did you demonetize the video? Why? What's wrong with it? I didn't show anything, you know, offensive or sexy or gorish, you know? No, they just demonetized it for no fucking reason. I reached out to them and I talked to them, and back then, they were still cool. You know, like, oh, okay, we're gonna look into it. Oh, okay, you're right. Here's the monetization back. Thank God, you know? And then I did a sequel called 10 Mature Rated Hidden Gems. Well, that one got demonetized. And I was like, why did you demonetize this? No, fuck you. We're not gonna give you any explanation anymore. Can I appeal? No, no appeals. Fuck you. You're demonetized. That was like my YouTube telling me, hey, we know who you are and we fucking dislike you. You know? But that's another one of my favorite videos. Mature Rated Hidden Gems. That's a great video. Anyway, so yeah. Impossible to answer that question. I've done so many videos that I'm really proud of that I just can't pick a favorite, you know. That was a long-winded question. Answer, I mean. I really love your review podcasts, and you're getting me on emulation little by little. I'm proud of that. When you say your review podcast, you mean that JRPG podcast? I've done 12 episodes so far. I don't know if I'll continue though. Let me tell you guys that. For those of you who are fans of that JRPG podcast, I don't know if I'll continue. As you can clearly see, the podcast was a massive failure. Like, nobody cares about it. But we'll see. It's something that I enjoy doing anyway, so I might just continue the show, the podcast, just out of enjoyment, because there's no money. I was getting like $2-3 out of every episode, you know. Yeah, I got that bad, but I love doing it, especially if it's based on my favorite JRPGs. Like, I really feel like I should dedicate an entire podcast episode to every single one of my top 25 favorite JRPGs ever, you know, and there are some games that are missing, you know. But we'll see what happens. Nothing's been decided. I don't do collaborations anymore, Dragon in Clouds. It feels really bad to collaborate with someone and then that someone kind of betrays you or stabs you in the back. I lost my trust in people, you know. I don't like doing collabs anymore. I would love to, especially with some YouTubers that are on like the same mindset as me, but I feel like they don't give a shit about me. I reached out to some of them, you know. I'm not gonna say any names, but some of these anti-woke YouTubers, you know, and some of these, you know, and from some I got ignored. I don't know why. We are on the same team, aren't we? We hate censorship, you know, and woke stuff and stuff like that, you know. But I never heard back. And others I did talk to, but for some reason they just, I felt like they didn't give a shit about me. So people are afraid of me. Probably, you know, I mean, I know why they're afraid, you know. I'm an extremely, like, I became a very polarizing figure on YouTube and on the internet. I get it, you know. But I believe some people out there should have the balls and to see me for what I really am without believing all the bullshit they read about me online. And not just me, Gustavo, you know. I know they're afraid, you know, to collaborate with certain people like me, you know. But it's also me. Don't think that I'm painting myself as a victim here, you know. There's a lot of YouTubers people want me to do collabs with, and I just don't want to, you know, because they're woke or they're not like like I want nothing to do with them, you know. Personal things happen between us, and it's between them and me, and I just want nothing to do with them, you know. But yeah, I would love to do more collaborations. It's just a matter of finding YouTubers that not necessarily agree or disagree with my points of view, but more like they're okay with how I think and who I am, you know, and I'm not gonna stab me in the back several months later because a bunch of hateful bots and hateful haters showed up at their comment section to say, oh, you're gonna collaborate with this guy? Why would you collaborate with this guy? You know, I'm not going to unsubscribe. You just lost one subscriber, you know, because they do that. And it's usually just a bunch of people. I mean, it feels very overwhelming because you start seeing hundreds of comments, you know, but there's just like 5 people with like different fake accounts or bot accounts, you know, just spreading that hatred, you know. That's what they do. They did it to me. I remember I didn't read them, but someone told me, you know, they practically bombarded my Atelier Yumiya review with a crap ton of dislikes and shitty comments, you know. And it feels like, oh, there's a lot of people. You pissed off a lot of people, Eric. No, I pissed off like 10 people or 5 people, you know, and they just have a crap ton of accounts and they make it look like it's overwhelming, you know. Oh man, these fear campaigns, you know, they do that's how the left attacks. It used to be the right, you know, but nowadays it's the left. That's how they attack, you know, by making people fearful and afraid. Like, oh, I like Eric Landon, but I don't want to make a collaboration with him because there's gonna be a lot of shitty negative comments in my comment section, you know. That's what they're afraid of. But yeah, it's pathetic. You know, it's not just me, you know. I can give you other YouTubers as an example on how people are afraid to collaborate with them because of the same reasons. You know, people give in to fear, and they shouldn't. But whatever, you know, I'm happy not collaborating with YouTubers that are like that. Like, if they're too afraid to collaborate with me, great. Then I don't want to collaborate with you, never. So now we have a problem. You know, it's super hard to find someone I can trust to collab with. It's really hard. Why not do a podcast here with Oscar since you are with his podcast? Oh, well, Oscar doesn't really like talking in English, you know, and we're friends. I wouldn't want to put my friendship into you know, in danger, or how do you say this, you know, like your friendship on, I don't know how to say this in English. Compromise. I don't want to compromise my friendship with Oscar, you know, by bringing him over often here in this channel, you know. Why not collaborate with you? I've done that. We did several collaborations last year. It was a little series called Versus Episodes. And I was reading your comments and your usernames. Didn't that count as a collaboration? I did a lot of collaborations with you guys. Jeopardy. You want to do a Jeopardy, Alex? You want to do Jeopardy here? I must confess something. I know you guys are gonna cringe, probably. I don't understand Jeopardy. I don't know how to play it. I've seen it. I've seen the show and the game, you know, I don't understand it. I think it would be better if we played the, what's this fucking game? The Wheel of Fortune? Hey, I love that game on the NES. The Wheel of Fortune. We should do that. But Jeopardy, I have no clue how to play. I don't understand it. I liked your videos and thoughts in spite of popular opinion. It shows that you have your own interest in genres and don't follow trends. People like, thank you, Jerry. People like me are a dying breed. Like, no disrespect to those other JRPG channels, but it just seems to me that's what they do nowadays. They just follow trends. They're dying to get like subscribers and viewers and money, you know. Like they chase it hard. Anything gets announced and immediately they appear making a video about it. And their opinions are always like, oh yeah, Persona 4 best JRPG ever. Persona 5 too. Dragon Quest, yeah, all the popular ones. It's like you don't see them saying Eternal Poison is a masterpiece. I mean, it's not. I love the game, but I gotta admit, it's not. It should have been that video. I made a top 10 called that, you know, 10 JRPGs that were almost a masterpiece. Eternal Poison should have been there. If it wasn't for a couple of things, it could have been a masterpiece. Anyway, I digress, you know. Not just JRPG channels, you know, there's a lot of gaming channels nowadays, and that's what they do. A lot of people realized that, I think it's a response on how we got flooded by gaming channels. Whether these gaming channels are AI or not, or human, most of them are still human channels. We just got a lot of them. It's overwhelming how many gaming channels are there. Like, it's incredible. And JRPG channels. Back in my day when I started, you know, there was just like 5 other JRPG channels and me, maybe less, you know. And then there were others who were just like streamers or let's players. And then they saw probably my success and they wanted to do the same. They jumped in immediately. But that was back then. And nowadays there's like absolutely incredible how many JRPG channels are there. What did I do? What the fuck have I done, right? But no, there's just a lot, and I think it's because of that they realized that by being honest and doing the kind of content they really want to do, it doesn't work anymore. They don't get views, they don't get money, they don't get subscribers. But then all of a sudden they do these 10 modern JRPGs you should play, and that video gets a lot of views, and they're like, oh, that's what I should do. So they do the video, you know, 10 modern JRPGs that you should play, you know, and they put at number 1, I don't know, fucking hack GU. And people are gonna be like, what the fuck is that? No thanks. But if they make a video and put trending JRPG on the first place, oh, it gets a lot of views. So they noticed that was a thing, you know, that they should chase after. And so a lot of JRPG channels and also gaming channels, I assume, started doing that, you know, a couple of years ago, because that seems to be the only thing that works. I mean, I know I'm shadow banned, but I've done a lot of videos, you know, that should have been more popular and weren't, because I didn't, in the first places, I didn't put the popular games or the trending games. Or I mentioned something about politics that offended the world, and YouTube noticed it, and it was like, oh no, fuck this video, we're not recommending this video. Like my Xeno video, you know, Xeno, the Xeno series ranked from worst to best, massive failure of a video. Why? Because Xeno Saga 3 is first, and nobody played that. So it's like people don't care about honesty anymore. I was like, people back in the day, you know, one of the reasons why my channel succeeded years ago was because of that. Because I was the kind of guy who will go out there and say, okay, I know if I do a ranking of Persona, if I put Persona 4 in the first place, that everybody's gonna agree and the consensus will favor me and the video is gonna get a lot of views. But I was like, no, you know, I want to be honest, my personal favorite Persona game is Persona 3, so that's going to be on the first place, you know? And those videos back then kind of used to be successful, you know? People appreciated that. They were like, oh, okay, here's this YouTuber that's, you know, offering a different perspective on things, you know? And that got rewarded. But nowadays, it's just not. No. No. What's the best Xenoblade game? Oh, Xenoblade 3. And don't even dare mention the politics, you know, involved with it. No. I don't want to hear it, Eric. I don't want to hear about the censorship and the translation. No, just tell me that Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is the best fucking Xeno game ever, #1, and shut the fuck up. That's modern audiences nowadays. And I fucking loathe that, you know. So what did I do? You already saw. I forgot about the world in front of me. I turned back to the past and I was like, dude, there's a lot of fucking gold here. A lot of great JRPGs, a lot of stuff to play and review and recommend, you know. So that's what I'm focusing on right now. All these about following the trends and collaborations, you know, stuff like that, you know, that just seems hollow to me and hypocritical, you know. I want no part of that. Do I think free speech is dying? Yes, I do, sadly, unfortunately. Okay, you meant the word I was looking for was jeopardy? That I didn't want to put my friendship with Oscar in jeopardy? Yeah! And I went on a full rant about, I don't know how to play Jeopardy! I should have read. Thanks, Alex, for clarifying. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. I don't want to jeopardize my friendship with Oscar. Star Tropics on the NES is a masterpiece, but no one mentions it. I disagree. Yeah, Jerry, it's not only YouTubers. It's also game designers. There's no honesty anymore, not even from them. You can't trust anybody. Anyway, thanks again for the super chat, Gustavo. Appreciate that. Do you prefer underdog protagonist or badass edgy protagonist? I guess it depends a lot on the story they're trying to tell, you know. Like I've seen JRPGs with a certain type of story and the protagonist is edgy and it's kind of like cringe. Like it doesn't work. Like, I don't know. I mean, I do prefer edgy protagonists, you know, because I relate more to them. But I don't know. Okay, it depends on the type of story, you know. It really depends on the type of story, you know. Sometimes you write a story and if your protagonist is an underdog, like it doesn't work. And same with edgy, you know. I'm trying to think of an example right now. Like, for example, okay, here's one, you know, Fire Emblem Fates. It had this really underdog, goody, two-shoes, snowflake protagonist, you know? And a story like that, where there's a lot of hatred between two families. I mean, the story of Fire Emblem Fates is bad, but the family feud is interesting. That's an interesting idea. So, I think a different type of protagonist, not necessarily edgy or underdog, could have worked. But because they made this shitty protagonist, you know, that it's just that dumbass, silly, snowflake piece of shit, a coward, basically, it just doesn't work. It ruins it. So you see what I mean? So sometimes putting an edgy protagonist or a badass or whatever, you know, it just doesn't work. It depends on the story. I mean, edgy protagonists are cool, but because the story is cool, or because they just fit in that story. it makes sense. You know what I mean? Like Berseria, the Tales of Berseria story is great, and it makes sense, right? Because it's a story about revenge. But I don't know, put Velvet in a different situation with an entirely different cast of characters, and it just wouldn't work. It would be cringe, right? But because Velvet had this cast of criminals or politically incorrect or outcasts of characters, you know, and because the story tries to focus from her point of view on how the system is wrong, you know, it worked. So she's a great edgy protagonist, right? Because the story worked. And then there's others, you know, that, I don't know, give me an underdog protagonist right now. Take Stock, for example, from Radiant Historia. I mean, he's not exactly an underdog, but the bad guys kind of start making him look like one, you know, and he has to keep it secret that he can go back in time and alter events it works, right? Because he's doing what he believes is right, given the circumstances, given that the odds are against him, right? So that's a great protagonist. That's a great underdog protagonist. So yeah, that was a great question, man. To answer your question, it needs, for a protagonist to be great, edgy, badass, underdog, silly, charming, whatever, it needs the story. It needs the supporting cast. It's a lot of factors involved on how to make a character great. So, do I prefer a badass, edgy protagonist or an underdog? It depends on the story. Like, I probably would have hated Velvet had she been in a different situation with different characters, with different supporting characters, you know. But she was with the right characters in the right situation, and that's what made her edginess and badassery so great, you know. So I prefer badass and edgy characters, but it really depends on the story. I appreciate a good underdog or silly protagonist, you know. It just depends on the story. Do you remember Jade Cocoon on PS1? Yeah, I do. I just covered it, you know, like some time ago. There's one video. Well, did somebody ask me about... Did you delete your question? Whoever you were? Somebody asked me about... I think it was for another YouTuber. I missed the question, sorry. Oh, you deleted the question. Yeah, I have one deleted question, Lord Kobe. Were you asking me about someone? Anyway. So, there's one video on YouTube about Jade Cocoon from a couple of years ago. I haven't seen the video, but it has a lot of views, man. And I was just thinking about that a few days ago. I was like, why would the video about Jade Cocoon have this many views? The video has like 600 and something thousand views. Like, what? I mean, you will expect those numbers for a video on Chrono Cross, Tales of Berseria maybe, you know, but Jade Cocoon? There's just no way in hell an ultra obscure game like Jade Cocoon could have that. Why? What's wrong with the algorithm in the... I mean, it's great for the YouTuber. Whoever made that video, good for you, congratulations. But isn't it like, I don't know. Why will a video about Jade Cocoon have those, like, what? Makes no sense. What's wrong? That videos like that prove that the algorithm is Did you guys believe in the death internet theory? Because I do. More and more nowadays. More and more. Like, makes no sense. Why will a video about Jade Cocoon go viral? Imagine if I did a video on Guardians Crusade. Have you guys even heard about that game? Guardians Crusade. That's a PS1 JRPG, turn-based. It did come to North America. Nobody knows that fucking game. Nobody talks about it. Nobody cares. And then all of a sudden, I make a video and it got 1 million views. Well, not me. I mean, I'm shadow banned on YouTube, but somebody else, some random dude, you know, just, oh, let's make a video about Modern Vampire Bloody Bride. That's a PS1 JRPG that never left Japan. You know, good game. I covered it before in a top 10. But Imagine somebody making a video about that and 700,000 views. Look. There's no way 700,000 people on planet Earth are looking up that game. Jade Cocoon does not have 650,000 players. Like, what the fuck? But anyway, kudos to the whoever made the video. Like, I mean, I know you had nothing to do with it, but congratulations, your video went viral. What the fuck? And so I do believe that the internet is dead and that the algorithm is super fucked up. Super fucked up. Anyway, so considering Chrono Cross is your favorite RPG, what do you feel about silent protagonists? Same. I feel the same way that I just explained 2 minutes ago. It depends on the game. In some games it makes sense, in others it just doesn't. I think Surge being silent makes sense because there were just so many characters in there, it would be hard to interact with all of them. And they want to add this Suikoden type of influence to Chrono Cross, so it worked. It worked for me, at least, you know. I feel that the games that play with psychology are better. Oh yeah, my favorites, you know. Not all of them are great, you know, but I do have a preference for psychological stuff and psychological horror stuff. Sword Art Online Kirito, he's very cringe, I can't stand him. Oh, I'm not really that acquainted with that guy. I remember watching a couple of episodes of the anime, and I didn't like it. And I played some games, and there was one that I liked called Last Recollection, but I didn't finish it. So I'm not really that acquainted with Kirito to have an opinion. I asked if you were familiar with... I don't know how to pronounce that. Cygor Gaming? I've seen a YouTuber with that username, you know. I've never seen his or her videos. I don't know if it's a guy or a girl, you know, but I've seen I've seen a YouTuber with that name. And I think this YouTuber, if memory serves me well, has also kind of focuses on like obscure games and JRPGs, you know. But I've never seen these YouTubers' videos or anything. Thank you, Red Miller. Thanks again, Gustavo. Did you think that Japanese developers write better stories with developers from Western? I'm not gonna say one is better than the other. Like, I like both. Like, in terms of gameplay mechanics, obviously I prefer Japanese RPGs by far, you know that. But in terms of storytelling, like, I wouldn't say one is better than the other. It's just different styles and different cultures, you know. So, I like both. But I prefer playing Japanese RPGs because gameplay mechanics, music, you know, appeal, graphics, you know, I prefer that. But if we're strictly talking about just storytelling, like, I couldn't decide. Like, I remember The Witcher 3 has this really good story that far surpasses the majority of stories I've seen in a JRPG. Same with Dragon Age Origins. The first Dragon Age, the only one that's good. Yeah, so, but I don't know that much about Western RPGs, as you may already know. Thanks again, Red Miller. I didn't know you were from Mexico. Fellow Mexican! Thanks for those 20 Mexican pesos, bro. You wanna listen to Fun Coast from Final Fantasy XII, Hitoshi Sakimoto? Okay, you got it. I'll play that. But that's it. You know, it's gonna be the end of the stream. And that's it for Chun-Li Street Fighter 2. The Fun Coast? There you go. Sonora. Sonora, huh? Haven't been there in a long time. Like in 25 years, I think. See you, Zero Cool. Take care. Yeah, that's one of the biggest reasons why I love Chrono Cross, Andrew. Latin America rules your chat? Nah, there's people from all over the world here. Most of my viewers for the videos are American, you know, but in the live streams, it's just like insane. Like that, one or two guys from a different country. It's crazy. I have viewers from Japan. I have fans that are from Japan and Korea, you know, and they say, you know, they come here and say, yeah, I'm from Korea. Oh. Baki Who says I'm from a JRPG world. Which one? Hope it isn't Suikoden, because there's always some war going on. Colombia, UK. Oh, you're from the UK. Oof. Take care. Dragon in Clouds. Now your country situation is really precarious. Nowadays I hear the terms UK and I get like goosebumps. Especially because my sister lives there. She's been living there for the past 10 years. She's a citizen already. And I mean, that was her dream, you know, to go out of Mexico and get her research appreciated, because it wouldn't get appreciated here. It got appreciated there. She's a doctor. But like a big part of me wants to tell her, please come back. Get out of there. Get the hell out of there. Anyway. UK. Yeah, I feel this connection because my sister lives there and I lived there for 5 months. I've been there, you know, so... Man... Yeah, we'll see about the translation of Sky Remake. We'll see about that. Okay, so that's it, guys. That's it. That was Fun Coast. Why is it called Fun Coast? It almost sounds like Phone Coast. Well, no, Fun Coast. Just Phon. Fun Coast, Final Fantasy XII, Hitoshi Sakimoto. What a great composer. Sakimoto is not one of my 5 favorite composers, but probably top 10 maybe, you know. He's a great composer. You always know it's him. When you listen to his music, you know it's him. Great composer. Right, everybody, take care. I'll see you tomorrow. I'm doing live streams every day, people. I'll be live tomorrow again, not with a Q&A, we'll be playing a game. Remember my schedule, 5 p.m. Central Time. Well, I should say Mexico time, Mexico City time. Look it up. I stream around 5 p.m. Mexico time. Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. And on Twitch, Tuesdays and Fridays, same hour, same time, 5 p.m. around 5 p.m. Mexico City time. I don't live in Mexico City, but it's easier to know it that way, you know. There. See you guys when I see you tomorrow or whenever. Hope to see you in the live streams. Take care, everybody. Have a great